There comes a moment, quiet, unannounced, invisible to the outside world, when the course of your entire life tilts on the edge of a single decision. It doesn't come with fireworks. It doesn't shout your name. It whispers. And in that whisper, destiny waits. Not the kind written in the stars, but the kind you write with your own hand, trembling, uncertain, but willing. You are one decision away from a completely different life. That's not a metaphor. It's not a slogan you wear on a hoodie or scribble into a journal for comfort. It's a law, a truth that has shaped kings and toppled empires, a truth that lit the fire in Edison's heart every time the bulb failed again, that kept Lincoln pressing forward when the world told him to quit, that turned Carnegie from a penniless immigrant into one of the greatest industrial minds in history. One decision. But that decision will not feel like greatness when it arrives. It will feel like resistance. It will wear the mask of fear. Because every meaningful decision, the ones that change you, stretch you, refine you, they never feel easy. That's the test. The weight, the pressure that forges the steel inside you. Most people, they never make that decision. They hesitate. They analyze. They wait for a sign. And in the waiting, life slips through their fingers like sand. Regret becomes their closest companion, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they lack conviction. Understand this. Your life right now, in this exact moment, is a compound result of every decision you've made. Not your parents, not your boss, not society. You. Every time you chose comfort over growth, every time you silenced your voice, every time you said, maybe later. And yet, the beauty of this truth is terrifying and liberating all at once. Because if one decision built the cage, then one decision can break the lock. But that decision must be made with fire in your chest, with a refusal to die full of potential, with the realization that the pain of discipline is far lighter than the pain of regret. Look around you. Everything you see, every skyscraper, every book, every business, every revolution, all began as a decision, a spark in the dark, a soul saying no more, or what if, or why not me? Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Henry Ford was told he'd never scale the automobile. Oprah was fired for being unfit for television. And yet they decided not to listen to voices that didn't build them. They decided to back themselves when no one else would. They decided to go where logic screamed no, but purpose whispered yes. This is not about fantasy. This is about dominion over your own mind, your own habits, your own future. The first battlefield is belief, because you will never rise above the story you keep telling yourself. If your internal narrative is built on fear, scarcity, excuses, your results will echo that story. But if you rewire the script, if you truly decide, to see yourself as capable, worthy, and powerful, then the outer world bends to match the inner shift. Belief is not passive. It's a discipline. You must feed it daily like a fire. Surround yourself with those who breathe life into your dreams, not those who project their limitations onto you. Stop explaining yourself to people who have settled. Stop asking for permission from those who've given up. They will never understand the hunger inside you, and they shouldn't, because it wasn't meant for them. Clarity follows belief. You can't build a cathedral if you're unsure where to lay the first stone. You need vision, not vague wishes, but a vivid, soul-stirring image of the life you were born to live. One that keeps you up at night. One that scares you because it's so damn real. Write it down. See it. Taste it. Speak it until your voice shakes. Because clarity creates direction. Direction creates momentum. And momentum is the great separator, the force that turns dreamers into doers. But vision without discipline is delusion. This is where most people fall. They think a decision is the peak, when in truth, it is only the gate. Behind that gate lies the valley of sacrifice, the hours no one sees, the failures no one celebrates, the doubts that visit like ghosts in the night. Discipline is the muscle that carries the weight of your dream when motivation has packed its bags and walked away. It is rising when the world sleeps, studying when others scroll, training when no one is watching, choosing legacy over laziness every single time. There is no success without self-command. If you cannot command your attention, your habits, your emotions, then you will always serve someone who can. But make no mistake, this level of control is not built overnight. It is forged through repetition, through micro decisions, moment after moment, where you either choose alignment or distraction, progress or comfort, power or permission. And in those tiny unseen choices, your entire future is being carved. And this is where most people get it wrong. They wait for a lightning strike of transformation, a grand breakthrough that changes everything in an instant. But real transformation is quiet. It's found in the decision to get up one more time, to take one more step, to endure one more failure without breaking. It's not the massive, dramatic moments that separate the greats from the average. It's the brutal consistency in the face of boredom and resistance. It's the man who wakes up at 4 a.m. every day not because it's comfortable, but because purpose is louder than excuses. It's the woman who builds her vision brick by brick, knowing that the world only notices once the fortress is complete, never when she's laying the foundation in silence. And let me tell you this, there is no clarity without chaos first. Before every breakthrough comes confusion. Before vision crystallizes, it blurs. You will question yourself. You will doubt. You will hear the old voices rise again. The ones that say you're not good enough, not smart enough, not born for this. Let them speak, then prove them wrong. You must learn to sit in the fire without fleeing. Growth doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It comes dressed as adversity. But adversity is not your enemy. It's your invitation. It's the universe asking, how bad do you want this? Not in words, but in storms, in delays, in betrayal, in the grind that no one applauds. You will be tested, not to break you, but to reveal you, to show you what's real beneath the surface. Diamonds aren't formed in pillows. They're born in pressure. So what will you do when it gets hard? When your vision feels far, your belief wavers, and the world offers you every excuse to quit. You decide, because that's the gift, isn't it? Choice. In every moment, you hold a power that no one can take. Not the economy, not your boss, not your past. The power to choose who you will become. The power to act in alignment with your highest self, even when the evidence hasn't caught up yet. That is where greatness lives. In the unseen decisions, the invisible hours, the silent discipline. But you must also understand this. Purpose is not found, it's created. Stop waiting to find your passion. It's not hiding. It's waiting to be built through work, through courage, through trial and refinement. You don't stumble into purpose. You forge it like steel in the fire. And once you do, once you taste the edge of what's possible when you align your actions with your deepest intent, you will never go back. You will see the world differently. You'll look at your struggles not as burdens, but as blueprints. You'll see obstacles as opportunities for expansion. You'll stop blaming the world and start building yourself, because you are not your circumstances. You are your standards. Raise them. Refuse to tolerate mediocrity in your health, in your relationships, in your thinking. Cut off the patterns that keep you small. Walk away from conversations that drain your power. Distance yourself from anything or anyone that doesn't fuel your purpose. If you want a different life, you must become a different person. Not overnight, but moment by moment, decision by decision, action by action. And the truth is, transformation is not always loud. Sometimes it's just a quiet realization that you are no longer willing to live the same story. That's when things begin to shift. Not on the outside first, but within. The world changes for you only after you change how you see yourself. Not when you have more money. Not when people finally believe in you. Not when it's convenient. Now, that is your edge. That is your battlefield. That is your rebirth. You are not here to merely survive. You are here to build, to lead, to create a life that echoes through generations. You were not born to repeat history. You were born to make it. But you must reclaim the pen. Stop living by default and start living by design. Your mind is the soil. Your thoughts are the seeds. And your actions are the water. What you cultivate will grow. Weeds or greatness, chaos or clarity, regret or legacy. So ask yourself with ruthless honesty, what am I choosing right now? Not what I say I want, but what I'm actually choosing in my habits, my focus, my routines, because that will reveal the truth, not your vision board, not your Instagram feed. The day-to-day discipline, that's where the transformation lives. And the decision, that one decision, it doesn't have to be a leap across oceans. Sometimes it's just standing up for yourself, saying no when you used to say yes, beginning again, even if it's the 100th time. Sometimes it's simply not giving up today, because every time you decide to keep going, to stretch further, to believe deeper, you change, you evolve, you move one step closer to the life that's been waiting for you to show up. And here's the truth you've known deep down all along. No one has come and saved you. No magic moment. No perfect timing. No external permission slip. Because you already have everything you need. You were born with it. Fire in your chest. Iron in your spine. And a mind capable of turning thought into reality. This is your life. Not your rehearsal. Not your dress rehearsal. This is a show. The curtain is up. The lights are on. And whether you walk forward or stay seated, time will keep moving. So what will you do? Will you keep waiting? Keep hesitating? Keep asking for signs when the only sign you've ever needed is the breath still in your lungs? Or will you rise? Not someday, not when it's easier, not when you feel ready, but now? Because life doesn't reward the person who almost committed. It crowns the one who decided. Fully, unapologetically, irreversibly. Make the decision. Burn the old script. Cut the rope that keeps you tied to versions of yourself that no longer serve who you're becoming. Let go of the smallness you inherited from people who fear their own greatness. Let go of the lies, the waiting, the endless what-ifs. Because what if the life you've always dreamed of is not just possible, but waiting behind the door you refuse to knock on? And if you do knock, if you do step through, don't expect the world to cheer for you. At first, they'll question you, doubt you, try to remind you of who you were. Let them, because while they're watching, you'll be building. While they're talking, you'll be transforming. While they sleep on your name, you'll be forging your legacy in silence. You don't owe anyone an explanation for wanting more. More growth, more peace, more purpose. You owe it to yourself to chase it relentlessly. And when the day comes that they finally see what you saw all along, they'll call it destiny. They'll call it fate. But you'll know the truth. It was a decision. A single, soul-deep decision to never be the same again. So today, right now, ask yourself, what is a decision I've been avoiding? What truth have I silenced to stay comfortable? What life is trying to emerge from the ashes of my old one? And then, when the answer comes, don't hesitate. Don't ask for permission. Don't wait for courage to show up at your door. Just act. Step forward. Begin, because you are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not powerless. You are one decision away from a completely different life. And the clock is ticking.